Hello, respected viewers. I'm George from Ireland. I'm in Sutton Courtenay, Oxfordshire. So behind me is Wharf House, where H.H. Asquith spent the last few years of his life. So in this deep England context, this village which goes back to Neolithic times, mentioned the Doomsday Book and all that. So I don't want to say too much about Asquith because I've talked about him in other videos, but he was born in 1852 in Yorkshire, the son of a prosperous business family. He went to City of London School, Balliol College, Oxford. He was president of the Oxford Union, which is Oxford's debating society. He qualified as a barrister and had a thriving career before he entered the political forum as a Liberal and rose through the ranks, eventually becoming Prime Minister in 1908 when Sir Henry Campbell Bannerman stood down owing to infirmity. So Asquith was Prime Minister up until 1916, and notably he's Prime Minister for the first half of the Second World War. His son Raymond was killed in action, so H.H. Asquith felt that blow very heavily, and his alcoholism prompted some of his party to withdraw to support. He was booted out as Prime Minister, but remained leader of the Liberal Party to 1926. He retired in that year, and then he died in 1928. He was ennobled as the Earl of Oxford and Asquith before he passed away. So he's buried really just across the street in the graveyard of All Saints Church. And which I filmed earlier today. So and his first wife died, and then he got married again to Margot, who was much younger than him. I'm not sure he had children from his second marriage. Divorce being a bit of a no-no back then. I mean, you don't have to remarry if your spouse has died, but I mean, a politician divorcing and then remarrying was just really unheard of till the Second World War. So then his great-granddaughter, Helena Bonham Carter, she later purchased this house years later because it had been her family home, and there's a house further down which they also own. This house called the Wharf because it backs onto the Thames, and then there's Mill House, this very large house down here, and that also backs onto the Thames with a huge garden that she owns. So that is, her boyfriend, I think it was, Tim Burton, had that house. Seen her in loads of things. I just think she was in Les Miserables. She was in The 9 Days Queen when she was about 17 years of age. You can see a bit of the house there. I'm just thinking, what else has she been in? She was in 66 and many other films. So that is Asquith. Now, when I say it's an agricultural area, I'm not joking, as you might realise. Anyway, that is enough about H.H. Asquith, the second last Liberal Prime Minister. Okay, toodaloo.